Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
I think I want to go now.
You want to go now?
Yeah. Hey everyone.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Hypecast.
Oh wow. Really clipped out there. Yeah. It's another episode of Hypecast. I am your host this week, Tom Ryman, because Dave is
I'm Dave.
gone.
I'm David Bell.
Jeff will be playing the part of Dave today.
I'm David Bell
Yeah.
from Hypecast.
Mm-hmm.
The show about movies.
Yeah. So, so that's Dave, and this is Tom, and we're just going to do no guest this week.
Dave stuff.
It's going to be me and Dave.
I'm David Bell, and I'm from Massachusetts. See, I know all the stuff about Massachusetts, so I could pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's me, Jeff May.
Yeah.
I'm back.
You are.
This is 3 things in what feels
Like
like,
a row,
a
yeah.
7-day
Like 5
span.
days.
Fully, yeah. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. It's good to be back. It's good to hit midday traffic on the way to Culver City.
I know. I'm really glad I was able to do that for you.
That what
to
was
give you an
funny,
opportunity to drive through midday traffic.
A little through the fourth wall here, but whenever we're doing this, I'm like, let's do it earlier. Let's do it as early as we can. Let's do it as much as we can before rush hour. It's funny because getting here, it's like I'll be there in 25 minutes, and going home, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I have to go to North Hollywood right after this.
Oh, that's where I'm going, basically.
Cool.
Going back to Burbank.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Burbank, California.
Welcome to the Los Angeles Geography Podcast.
I mean, you guys get it.
Yeah.
You've heard jokes.
So we got some trailers this week.
Yeah, we did.
The first one on the list here is the trailer for Mowgli, the gritty Jungle Book film that Warner Brothers is inexplicably still going through with.
They invested a lot of money in it.
They did. It looks great.
It's
like visually.
Here's the thing about Mowgli, and here is because it looks like a lot of painstaking work has gone into it and incredible talent, and it looks like a prank because Jon Favreau and Disney put out the Jungle Book, which is arguably, I'd say, one of Disney's best live-action films ever.
Yeah, it's the one that gave them the mistaken notion that they can continue to do this.
I mean, yeah, but they're making money off of them.
Let me rephrase that. Gave them the notion that they could continue to do this and they would all be that quality.
True. And we don't know where the rest are going to come.
That's true, but Beauty and the Beast was like the biggest moneymaker in the world last year. It is a bad film. It's a very bad film.
That's fine. I mean, it's funny when you make the transition of something being a Oscar nominated for Best Picture cartoon to then roll into it's passable.
Right, like a surprisingly
passable movie at best. Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's who knows what they're going to do. You know, Aladdin could be amazing.
Maybe Guy Ritchie's doing it, I believe.
Side note, and I know I'm going to get. I was at a show last night, and there was a Robin Williams impersonator in character at the show I was at, not on my show. Like I was there getting ready. I was going up at the end. Headlining, not a big deal. And this guy comes out of the bathroom looking just the fuck like Robin Williams. and he's coming out, he's like, oh, hello. Oh, what am I doing here? And I just went, ah! And everyone's like, that's so amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I just went, That's very off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you do. He must have been doing something in one of the other rooms that was like, oh, we have this Robin Williams guy come out.
Okay,
Like
I was trying to understand. I thought you were telling me somebody came up and did like stand up as Robin Williams.
I think he was doing that in one of the in one of the other shows. And he was like came out of the bathroom because I was in like the lobby area. Lobby? That's not right. In like the hallway getting ready to go in, going through my set. And then you look up and it's a guy who looks so much like Robin Williams, it's upsetting.
I wonder what part of his career did he figure out first? Did he was like, I'm going to go into comedy, and then later on he realized I look just like Robin Williams?
I think it's impersonator first. I think you're just like, Jesus Christ, how do I look like this person this much? And he walked by and like everybody was like complimenting him about how great it was, which he was impressive. And my immediate gut reaction was to say, that is so off-putting.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can't throw yourself in my direction and not expect me to be like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you doing? And I told him, I was like, I don't want you to take this wrong. You are very impressive, and whatever you're trying to do, you are fucking nailing it. But holy shit, I was not ready for that. I didn't buy a ticket that said Robin Williams impersonator on here. So in my world, you're just fucking a ghost.
Yeah, you're just
showing up.
You're haunting me right now.
Haunting the comedy clubs of Burbank for some reason. How much did it suck when Robin Williams killed himself for that dude?
Oh,
what do you do there, huh?
I don't know. Well, yeah.
Like, he got an extra sting for... He's like, oh, there goes my career. Oh.
Well, I got to put this on hold for a year?
Well, that's fine. Good for him.
I mean, he waited 4. That's fine.
Yeah.
The hell were we talking about? Oh, Mowgli.
Mowgli. It seems like a prank is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't seem real, even though all the talent is there. Like, Scarlett Johansson as Kaa in the
Disney's
Jungle
The
Book
Jungle
is
Book, yeah.
amazing. Mm-hmm. And then Kate Blanchett's, it's Kate Blanchett, right?
I think so, yeah.
In Mowgli, just sounds like they're trying to do that, but with a better actress somehow.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's strange. It doesn't seem real.
Yeah, I don't understand, because Jungle Book, it's been like 2 years now, right, since it came out, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was in 2016.
3 years, maybe. It might have been 2015.
Oh, man, maybe. So this movie I don't think was like full into production yet. They had like announced it around the same time.
I think they pushed it back, because it's Andy Serkis's project, right?
Yeah.
I think they may have pushed it back so they didn't go head to head with the Jungle Book. I think that's a real thing.
Man.
Because they were like, well, this would be stupid.
Right, to put these out in the same year.
Exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Man, I spilled water on your table, and I am just like, I hope this doesn't warp the whole thing. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's what you do. You give guests open cups, and you keep that one there. So I look like the fool.
I mean, you're an adult man. I thought you could drink liquid out of a cup without spilling it all over yourself.
Clearly not good enough for that. I think it's so funny. Like, I feel so bad for this movie.
Yeah, kind of. Like, it feels like this movie feels like a 90s movie to me in its tone, because it's a little
gritty, yeah.
Disney made like a gritty Jungle Book live action.
The Jason Lee one, right?
Jason Scott Lee Sam Neill, and yeah. Like a gritty, like more real. It was like the Batman Begins of the Jungle Book.
Yeah, he was like 19 or something, like doing karate.
Yeah, and like none of the animals actually spoke. Like they just were like his helpers or whatever. So this movie feels out of time for a lot of reasons like that, and then also what you're talking about, where it's like we just had a hugely successful Jungle Book. Like what is this?
Fun Jungle
and
Book
a fun
too.
One, yeah.
Like, it was really fun, beautifully written, very emotional, and like, I hope this movie is great. Like, I hope it does perfectly fine, but I feel so bad for it.
Right.
That it's like when they tried to, when the real Ghostbusters cartoon, and then they tried to make the old like Funimation Ghostbusters or whatever, and it was just like, aw, like, you're trying, and I hope you're good, but come on, you're not the real Ghostbusters.
That's why they called them the real Ghostbusters.
We now return to the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a film that's coming out.
And I'm sure
Mowgli.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine. I mean, I don't know.
It looks a little dark. It's like the difference. It looks like the difference between like Batman 89 and Batman Begins. You might be a cooler and better movie, but you don't seem as fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that... It doesn't seem as fun to me. It seems it seems like a very passionate project, very powerful piece of art even, maybe, but it does not pass. I was like, oh, this looks like it'll be fun to watch.
No, it looks like yeah.
And The Jungle Book is very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched it with my cats multiple times.
Sure.
It's Cat Jeff's favorite movie.
It's a very cat-friendly film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I took a picture of Cat Jeff just pawing at Bagheera.
Mm-hmm.
She's like up against it, just kind of like, I'm going to hit you, you dirty son of a bitch. All right.
Fuck you think you're doing coming into my house?
Fuck out of here, you big cat. I'm also a cat.
So yeah. I don't know. Maybe you can watch this one with your cats and it'll
We'll see.
frighten them.
Yeah.
Like this is...
Are you in the DC universe?
Yeah, exactly. This is the DC universe of Jungle Book films. Next trailer we have is the Happy Time Murders.
What did you think about that trailer?
This is okay. I got to preface this. I wish Dave was here for this one because this is a movie that Dave and I have been following for a while. Probably I feel like 3 years. Like it's been in production for a long time because puppets are hard.
Right.
So I was coming into it like I had been excited about this movie since I heard about
It's
it.
Brian Henson.
This is Brian Henson, Jim Henson's
Angel.
son.
Didn't they do a puppet episode?
They might have. I didn't watch any of the Joss Whedon TV shows when
No.
they were on the air.
It's all right.
That's what I've heard.
It's a lot of investment.
Yeah, there's a lot of Buffy and Angel.
Yeah.
I did see Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the theater with my mom, though.
The Christy Swanson.
The Christy Swanson one, yeah.
Luke Perry,
And
Paul
Luke Perry,
Rubens.
Paul Rubens, yep. Who's the
Rutger
old,
Hauer?
The old guy's somebody, isn't it?
Oh, it's Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland, there you
And
go.
I believe Rutger Hauer plays the Dracula, doesn't he?
That sounds like a role that Rutger Hauer would play in a film called Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway,
The Happy Time Murders.
the Happy Time Murders. I was like excited about the idea of this. I thought it was a great idea. Like it's like, oh, puppets are getting murdered, so you have like a puppet investigator who's like it's like the Powers of the Muppets universe.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good Powers reference for those of
Solid
you that
Powers reference.
the Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oming Image to Marvel icon shift independent comic book that is really great. And then they had a lackluster television show on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, that was weird.
Really weird.
Anyway, it doesn't. The trailer is not what I had thought and had hoped the movie was going to be. Like I really thought it was going to be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, kind of like. I mean, it's funny because it puppets, but like it's also it's like a serious story and it's treating its subject matter seriously. This trailer is just puppets.
It's potty humor.
Yeah, just puppets being gross and saying fuck and jizz and silly string everywhere.
Yeah, like
for like a really long time.
They seem like they had such a hard on to make that Red Band trailer.
Yeah,
Like they were like, oh yeah.
we're gonna have like two different, like Melissa McCarthy gets propositioned by two different puppets in it, and it's the same joke. So it's just like, all right, it's puppets just saying awful things.
Yeah.
So this is Crank Yankers, the movie. Like I thought it was going to be more. I wanted more like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And this is not that.
Roger Rabbit is rare.
Yeah.
Because for every Roger Rabbit, you get a Cool World.
Oof. Yeah, that's true.
Like you're not.
Or a Space Jam.
Catching lightning in a bottle is very difficult. And I feel like the Happy Time Murders is something that you could get amped for if your expectations are probably set to. I have to do. Okay, so there's a reason I'm being very dodgy on this, in that I've seen a preview screening of this, and I have signed an NDA.
Right.
So I will say I sound like I'm being very non-committal and dodgy about what I'm talking about here, because I literally have to be.
Because I am legally obligated to do so.
I did not see a final cut of this movie.
Right.
I did not. But
Sure.
I was even in one of those post-screening focus groups to talk about the things I liked and I didn't like. And all I can say, I think legally all I can say is there are things that I liked. And I can also say there are things that I deeply disliked.
Sure.
And I will say that my judgment is not for anybody else, and I can't say anything past that. And,
Sure.
And they did that screening so they could make reshoots, adjustments,
Right. Nobody
change edits.
Yeah. Nobody wants to put out a movie that nobody likes.
Yeah.
So.
I don't.
Yeah, I wish it was something like, it was such an original idea, and this is Tom talking. This is not Jeff May. It struck me as such an original idea, and then this trailer is the most derivative idea. Like, we've seen puppets cussing a lot at this point. Like, it's not a new thing. So this is just...
One thing I'll say is I'm bummed that they had him coming silly string during the preview, doing that bit. This is not funny. It's not good. It's not a good joke.
It's yeah. It's the Austin Powers joke with the evacuation complete.
Ooh, I think there's one thing that I can say, and it's that I am not a big Melissa McCarthy fan, and she is fantastic in this movie.
That's fair.
I'm not real. Every time I see a movie with Melissa McCarthy, it's always like, I'm a fat slob. Watch me eat shit into the pavement. And
she's
like,
the Kevin James.
You
She's
kind
like
of
Lady
get that
Kevin
way.
James.
And I never understood why people were like, she's brilliant. And I'm like, is she? Because it's all just like, I'm a doofus. And that gets tiring to me. She's great in this. She's really good.
Well, good.
And that, to me, yeah, I don't think they wouldn't give me shit for that. Where I was sitting there and I said, I'm not normally a fan of hers, and she was fucking amazing in it. I really hope that the things that I was not a fan of, obviously don't of a bummer in its execution.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to appeal to just, hey, isn't it funny when like puppets cuss? I'm like, no, we've seen that, and we've had. It was like the first person to come out and say, isn't it funny when cartoons fuck? It's like, I mean, maybe 40 years ago, but now
maybe
it's
when
like
Fritz the Cat came out,
right?
Now, like, no
like,
one's...
now it's like
now it's just a regular link on the side of Pornhub,
right? It's like now every cartoon fucking cusses,
yeah.
And your Fritz the Cat brought it full circle back to Cool World.
Yeah,
they're both Ralph Bakshi, I think. Right? Didn't he do?
Did Bakshi do Cool World?
I thought he did. Am I insane?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it seems like some bullshit he would pull.
Yeah, it seems like, or you're like, can we get Disney to do this? Be like, no. Okay, Don Bluth? No. All right, get Bakshi. Like, that's
right.
That's always how it seemed to me. Who can rotoscope this?
Yeah, yeah. It is Ralph Bakshi.
Ah.
Oh man, yeah. His yeah.
Oh, Bakshi, your Hobbit was good.
It's okay.
I liked the Hobbit, the cartoon Hobbit.
Yeah, that's a film where I was like, you know what? Sometimes I get bored.
Sometimes things are boring. So what's up next? Mile 22?
Mile 22. It's like 16 blocks, only starring Mark Wahlberg.
That's exactly what I was thinking,
yeah.
And I'm medium stoked on it because it doesn't look like he's taking a movie seriously.
No, it looks like a fun action movie, and it has Iko Uwais from The Raid.
Yeah, anytime Mark Wahlberg takes a film seriously, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Like Patriots Day or whatever.
Yeah, oh, god damn it. As somebody from Boston who skipped the marathon that day,
yeah,
I usually would go. I'm not from Boston by definition, but I'm from close enough that I used to go to the marathon every year, and I skipped that year. It seems like it was blown a little out of proportion. I know it was an attack on American soil, and everything like that. But I'm always just like, did we need a movie for this? All right, fine. This
Like-
soon too?
Like 2 years after?
Yeah,
It was a little quick.
Um,
It was like the Sully movie. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
like give me a dumb action movie where he's not trying to act too much, and I'll like it.
Sure, this is him on like Transformers mode.
Even less, because in Transformers he was overacting.
I didn't watch any of the
Hey,
Transformers.
I think this is a Transformer, right? Like, all right.
Hey, we got to get these Decepticons.
Yeah. Holy cow, Megatron's coming, all right?
Am I right?
But this looks fun. It
Yeah.
looks fun. And I don't, most of his movies are trash.
Yes.
Like, even the ones that I have fond memories of, I look back and I'm like, oh, The Big Hit's not good.
The Big Hit is very bad. I didn't but I didn't like The Big Hit when it came
Oh, I
out.
loved it when I saw it. I was like, 1996 is fucking awesome.
I had seen. See, I was coming into it wanting it to be like Grosse Point Blank, which is another comedy about a hitman.
Yeah, that's
John Cusack.
well, no, I know it. I'm like, that's one's cerebral and one is all action.
Right.
Like,
yeah. One
Grosse
is
Point Blank is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Right. It's
We should
great.
just talk about Grosse Point Blank.
We should. It's like so well written.
Oh my god, Minnie Driver is so
Minnie Driver's great,
fantastic.
yeah.
Joan Cusack. Oh my god,
Yeah,
how
she's
did she
great.
not get a Best Supporting Actress nod for that? Mile 22 looks fun,
Yeah.
and you're right. It's 16 blocks.
It's 16 blocks.
It's literally that.
For the premise is that Mark Wahlberg has to protect Ika Uwais, like, and escort him to mile 22 to.
It's like if 16 blocks had a plucky group of government operatives. You know, like, this is the demo guy. This is the sharpshooter, and she's the femme fatale. Like, you can see that in the preview. They very much be like, archetypes.
Yeah, absolutely. He has this team that has
You
to.
have your tank, you have your mage, you have your thief.
So yeah, yeah.
I'll see this one.
I'll watch it. I'll watch anything that I just, I'm still waiting for the Raid 3, so
Right?
I'll watch anything that this dude is in.
Yeah. I'm waiting. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
And it looks
it looks fine.
intriguing
Yeah.
enough, I guess.
It
like, I'm
looks
not
like it'll-
looking for too much here.
Nah, it just.
Your reveal ain't going to be much to me because it's all car crashes and guns. Like,
Yeah,
that's all
I just want that and like just this champion martial artist beating the shit out of people.
Right?
That's what I want to see.
Like, let's have that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm up for it.
What's next?
Destination Wedding.
Destination Wedding. I bring this up. It's a rom-com starring Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
Yes.
They get paired up. I guess he's a groomsman and she's a bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid, yeah.
And they get paired up to go to this destination wedding, hence the title. And
I'll tell you what, guys. They are like oil and water.
they do not get along.
These two are going to stay very apart,
Yeah.
very against each
They're
other.
never going to
the
agree on
whole
anything.
movie.
They're never going to become friends. They're certainly not ever going to fall in love.
And
That's definitely not.
I gotta be
happen.
honest. I've never seen a movie like this.
I know, right?
This is we're breaking some new ground
breaking
here.
some new ground. No, I put it on there because Keanu is back, which I like. They're doing Bill and Ted 3, and he's got his John Wick movies, and we're going to talk a little about John Wick in a little bit. He has not learned anything about acting in 30 years, and I love him for it.
I think that he has become. He acts his way.
Yeah,
And
He always has.
it's Wahlberg. Like, he's going to deliver things a certain way. And I remember I forget who it was, but somebody had written this piece about how basically Keanu Reeves is this actor whose face has this magical ability to sort of allow you to envision yourself in his position. Like that, the way the expressions go, it's like a no theater mask.
right. He's literally a blank canvas.
And they said it's something where it's this like psychological and I wish I remember what the article was, but it's literally a psychological study
About Keanu Reeves'
that's
face.
about like how his face and the way his expressions are and the way he delivers his lines allows the viewer to slide, the male viewer, I'm guessing, predominantly, to slide into that role. And that was fascinating to me.
I mean, that checks out.
It's like the idea that Nick Cage is such a good actor that once he got his Oscar, he's just like, well, fuck it. Now I'm just going to go insane.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna fight witches and like swap faces with John Travolta.
Like once it hit him, he's just like, well, fuck it now. Like, and that to me is an attractive idea. Whether or not that's the actual case, I don't know. But this looks fun.
Yeah.
And it's good to see Keanu in comedy.
They're using what Keanu does in a funny way in this movie. And what he does is he's just completely blank and he delivers everything in a deadpan.
Very deadpan, yeah.
Which can be used to wonderful effect.
Yeah.
Particularly when you put him with somebody like Winona Ryder.
As
who's
expressive,
and is, really emotive. And then he's
Which
just
is
like...
ironic that their Dracula...
Yeah.
Things were so different.
Yeah.
Because he was very expressive and emotive in that movie.
He was still trying to... I think he's...
Get an accent.
Yeah. His accent in that film, holy shit. I had forgotten they were both in that until you mentioned that.
Yeah, they were husband and wife.
Yeah. Yeah, he was still trying to because that was also around when he did Much Ado About Nothing and...
Well, he was an actor and he was big at the time.
He's I'm going to do roles and... Was
that you and I that were talking about The Matrix and how everybody else is talking about how the in depth, and he's just like, I'm gonna do kung fu, and he's just all excited.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that when we were leaving the movie theater last week.
Yeah, well, there's this one scene in one of the behind the scenes things of the training where he's doing, he's practicing whatever martial art he was studying. Then he just looks at the camera and he goes, I'm going to be a superhero. Yeah. Making fun of nerds while being a nerd.
Yeah.
And it was just really funny. It was a good delivery.
Yeah.
I like this. I like that he is opening himself back up to comedy roles.
Yeah.
Because he's just a good dude and I want good stuff for him.
Right. I enjoy Keanu and his films, and I want him to continue to have...
him as a person. Have you heard stories of him?
No.
All his residuals from The Matrix go to the special effects team, the visual effects.
Oh, wow.
He was just I have more money than I'll ever need. He's these are the people that actually made this work. Why are you giving me all the money? Give it to them.
That's pretty decent.
There's this his sister was murdered or something.
Shit, I didn't know that.
If you look up Keanu as a person, you'll be oh, he's the best dude. He's the Mr. Rogers of action stars. He's such a good and positive guy that I only want super good things for him. So I'll see this fucking movie too.
Sure, man. I'll watch this goddamn Destination Wedding.
I'll see this fucking movie.
I don't care. I don't even care.
I do care. Care about you, Keanu. Take my money,
please.
Boy. There it is.
Fucking Rodney Dangerfield. Oh no!
Oh, they call me Rodney Dangerousfield. Oh.
Okay, you have to leave now. That's
shoot my dog, please. Oh.
Remember that movie Rover Dangerfield?
Yeah, of course I do. Because it came out right around the same time as Rockadoodle, and I was we are in a golden age of anthropomorphic animals.
I think they're the same
off Disney brand cartoons.
I think they're the same company that did those
probably.
Films. Yeah. Oh shit. Whose idea was Rover Dangerfield?
I don't know, but they should get a retroactive Oscar for that.
It's you know what demographic, Rodney, that you're missing out on.
Yeah,
is the 3 to 7 year old.
Yeah, they should have made a George Carlin, Cars,
a fucking cat, or
George Carsland.
Because that title, the title of the film is a pun on the man's actual name, so it sort of requires the child
slight
to
knowledge.
Know who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Yeah, check out Andrew Mice Clay. Hickory dickory dock. 3 blind mice. I was one of them. Oh, suck my dick, kids. What?
Don't do drugs.
What is happening?
Oh, shit.
Sam Kiddyston.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow. Oh. For all you 80s comedy fans, we are bringing it to you.
Duckbill Hicks.
Oh. Jesus. This is so... Rover Dangerfield.
Rover fucking Dangerfield.
Like how did that happen?
I don't know.
It got greenlit. It went through a like what was movies back then? Like what was going on in the early 90s?
I don't know. I know that I knew who he was, so I got the pun and like saw the movie.
You saw Rover Dangerfield?
I did.
I did not.
I have seen Rover Dangerfield.
How was that?
I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't think I've seen it in 20 years.
Whoa.
More than 20. Yeah. I mean, he's doing that on the cover.
I
like
mean, Aladdin had a Rodney Dangerfield
did,
joke
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Boy, that's so many dated jokes in that. Like, it's rough. And also,
because he made jokes that were like, I mean, some of them still kind of work, like Jack Nicholson, but he also, I mean, the Arsenio Hall joke's a little dated, but he also does. Oh shit, who's the talk show host?
he does the guy from the 60s.
Yeah.
He got the Beatles on and everything. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right here in
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about, and I'm blown.
What a
really big show.
Really
that
big
guy.
show. Yeah. What the?
It's one of the things I was actually thinking about this the other day, but that. How about a little more baklava? That's the laziest line in any song I've ever heard. It's so stupid. It's such a shoehorned, like, oh shit, we forgot to find a working rhyme. How about we add a Greek Mediterranean pastry
That has nothing to do with what
that
he's
has
talking
nothing
about.
to do with this.
Yeah.
That kids won't know what it is. Like, who's that line for? Alan Menken?
Yeah, that was their like. Ed Sullivan.
There
That
it
was
is.
their like golden like writing team for music.
Yeah, Alan Menken.
And, Howard Ashman. Right?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. When I was in chorus in 7th grade, you had to take a music. It was either like general music, which was boring, band, which was like work, and then chorus, which was blend in the back and swear to the songs while you're saying them.
Yeah.
Which was my thing.
Just lip sync.
I said Little Saint Prick during the Christmas concert so many times. Nobody noticed. I didn't get into trouble. It was around the time when that movie had come out. So our like year or our like one of our things was the Aladdin soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the Aladdin soundtrack fucking inside and out. Like everything. And if one of those songs starts, I go into this Manchurian Candidate level of like I sing the song. Like it just happens.
Yeah.
And you know, if you were like gotta keep, and then I'll be like one jump ahead of the bread line, and it's nothing has ever had like I've never been, I hate to use the word, but like triggered in any way where something just like gives me this Pavlovian response. But if you open with the line from an Aladdin song, I just can't. I have to sing it. And I'm not a singer. I'm not good at singing. I don't like singing. But like I was conditioned for like probably 8 months of like singing these songs over and over and over again.
Man, no, I was in elementary school still, so we had like a music assembly where they did all the songs from Aladdin.
Where the 7th graders came in to sing them from chorus.
Fucking probably, I don't know.
But did you know that when he does that whole like combination julienne and hookah and coffee maker also makes julienne fries? It will not break. It will not. It broke. Mm-hmm. They just gave him some shit and had him ad lib that.
Oh yeah, I knew all that was ad lib.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah. So a lot of his lines are ad libbed, which is why there's so many weird references in it.
And then he haunted my comedy show.
And then he showed up and haunted your fucking comedy show, which is perfect.
Hey, look at me. I'm making you uncomfortable in a comedy club. That's usually the comedian's job. Oh. So news.
Yeah.
Speaking of Keanu.
Speaking of
Keanu's.
Oh, man. All the Keanu's that's fit to print.
The Keanu's hour.
John Wick 3 is starting production. They just announced this past week like a whole bunch of casting stuff. Like Angelica Houston's going to be in it. Halle Berry.
I like it.
Jason Mantzoukas.
I love that.
Mark Dacascos.
There. Yes.
And then 2 dudes from the Raid series.
Hell yeah.
The guy who played Mad Dog and the guy who kills Mad Dog in the Raid 2. So this movie's going to be sweet.
I'm actually stoked to see what Mantzoukas brings to the here because he's a really amazing comedic actor.
Yeah.
He certainly is the character actor that plays very similar characters all the time, which
Yeah.
is that like way out of left field, insane comedy.
Right, like a maniac.
Yeah. But that could work really well in this universe in a way that I don't think we've seen before. Because the John Wick movies take themselves very seriously with a wink that it's not serious.
Right.
This adds, I think, a potential really great layer. Like Angelica Houston's great, Halle Berry's great, but I don't view them as like, oh, this will change this for the better. But
Right, they're very
Mantzoukas-
much in line with the vibe of the movie.
yeah, Mantzoukas, I'm like,
That's
this
pretty
is,
wild.
This is a fun, insane addition, and I like that. Is he going to be a killer?
I think so.
Is he going to be a sidekick? Is he going to be a villain? Like
He
it
plays
could be.
a character called the TikTok Man.
Oh, so he'll be like a crazy bomb guy, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Like that's fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun to
Make
me.
him the evil midnight bomber. What
'Cause
bombs at midnight?
These movies should be fun. The first John Wick is very fun action-wise. The second one, I was like, it's fine.
Oh, I really liked
it
it still.
but I got a little bored watching it.
Oh, really?
I did.
I like because all the stunt work is still great in it. Like,
It is.
It's to me, it was very similar to how I felt about the Raid and then the Raid 2, because like the Raid is awesome and it's this tight, contained thing, and then the Raid 2 really blows it out, but in a way that I still like really like it.
Yeah, John Wick 2, it was, I mean, it's hard to recapture lightning in a bottle. Any sequel is difficult to recapture what you had in the first one. It's so rare. But this, I like the addition. I think Mantzoukas is, I like him more than I realize whenever I see him in a thing. I'm like,
he's great.
oh, fuck. Like when he showed up in The Good Place.
I still haven't watched The Good Place.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, everybody fucking tells me. I gotta watch
It's
The Good
definitely
Place.
worth giving a because it's not a lot of a time investment because it's a half-hour show
Right, there's only 2 seasons, right?
and you can burn through them pretty quick. Yeah,
Word.
it's great. But he's great in that. He's I mean, you know, The League. He was great in.
I saw some of his bits on the League. Yeah,
He's
just great.
I really like him.
He's
Yeah,
the reason I own a copy of Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator is because of his stuff in that movie.
yeah.
If you ever saw it,
I saw some of it.
he's got he plays Sacha Baron Cohen's like nuclear guy. His name is Nuclear Nadal. He's the guy who's in charge of his nuclear weapons program, and they have a lot of great scenes together because it's just the two of them ad-libbing.
Probably, yeah.
So
doing improv at
it's
each other.
fucking great. So yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't open with this next line. By the way, with this next.
it was
news
hard. I
story.
did it for like segue because like we went from Destination Wedding into Keanu, but this is the most exciting news for me this week.
Of course it is. I was like, how did you not explode with this right away?
So they're making Spider-Man: Homecoming 2, which should be a surprise to nobody, even if you did watch Infinity
Spider-Man
War
Prom.
and get very sad when Spider-Man dies. But obviously he'll be back.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers alert. That stuff won't stay.
Yeah. So they're making Spider-Man 2. The villain is going to be Mysterio, and Jake Gyllenhaal is in talks to play Mysterio.
Theoretically.
Theoretically.
We don't 100% know at the end of the day that it's going to be him.
It's going to be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Or the process. Do we know it's 100% going to be Mysterio? Because this gets a
think
little
so.
Wizard magazine-y where like you get news
Yeah.
and then it's just like, no, we're doing Craven or something like that, and you're like, that's weird. I like the idea of not trying to cram the number of villains in.
Yeah, it's pretty explicit. He is being looked at for this part.
Well, good. He's
So,
great. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal's great.
He's been a long rumored person to be in Spider-Man. Like he was ready to
After
fill in
Seabiscuit.
for Tobey Maguire because he hurt his back.
In Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm ready to go. I look like this motherfucker.
Sort of, yeah. They play brothers in the film Brothers.
Yeah. No, they look a lot alike, except Tobey Maguire's in a real life creep.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I have it on
Good authority.
personal authority.
No.
Like 1 degree of separation.
That's too bad.
Where I was just like, oh, I've been told not to like this guy because he's done some slightly stalkerish things to some people. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that about somebody.
I don't want to hear
but
that.
Then again, one of the things, because we just found out about Morgan Freeman today.
Well,
that
some people have known.
Well, true about his step granddaughter.
Yeah.
But like, y'all need to remember that just because somebody plays a fucking role doesn't mean they're that person.
It's hard.
I know, but like, you got to get past the fact that these people play make believe.
Yeah.
Like, if you're listening to this, which you are,
and you are, because you're hearing this,
you have to recognize that, like, that these people play make believe. They're artists. They're not the role that they play. Mm-hmm. And Bill Cosby was, I think, a really good opening to that, where he was like this all-American ideal.
Yeah, America's dad.
And not only that, but he was the American ideal of what a black man, quote, should be like. Remember, he was like positing himself that way, and like talking to Pryor and Eddie Murphy about like how they need to behave.
I love that Eddie Murphy bit so much more now.
Man, fuck Bill Cosby.
I may have to cut that out.
What? That was my Pryor. That was my Eddie Murphy doing Richard Pryor.
Yeah, just him taking the phone call. I think this is in Raw, where he talks about it. He's like, he got a call from Bill Cosby telling him, you cannot say filth, flarn, filth, and flarn. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said no filth, flarn, filth. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, but that was
at
like,
the end of it, he's like, fuck you, I'm offended you called.
Yeah. Well, because then he talked to Richard Pryor about that. He's like, man, fuck Bill Cosby.
He says, tell him I said suck my dick.
Oh, that's what it was.
Whatever the fuck make people laugh, say that shit.
Oh, man. But yeah, so like, to have him, like, when we look at, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on the rant here. Mysterio. Holy shit, Mysterio. Now, what do we do with him? Because he was like an effects guy.
You can do a lot of cool things with Mysterio.
The visual effects team of Doctor Strange should port right the fuck over to this movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that should work, because that's exactly the vibe that I am expecting with Mysterio.
Yeah.
Is that now maybe they're going to do something way more inventive than here's what I think it should be like.
Sure. No, I mean that's what the most effective he's been are in situations like that, where I think like because he's kind of a joke to like Spider-Man fans, because he's like this. What? Look at you,
well,
fishbowl
Quentin
head.
Beck shot himself in the face in Daredevil.
I was about to say the most effective use of him was in that Daredevil storyline.
Kevin Smith's Daredevil run, where he fucking finishes off by being like, I'm nobody's arch enemy. Like, he's just like, I felt like I've been not good enough, so I'm gonna fuck your life up, and now I'm gonna shoot myself in the fucking face.
Yeah. But he uses he really fucks with Daredevil.
Yeah,
in like a dark way.
Kevin Smith wrote him in a very, very good way. He is a cerebral character. He has to be, because he's not that impressive of a dude. Like, when you look at like what people like Kraven can do, or what Dr. Octopus could do, they were all like, they had these kind of powers.
They have abilities.
Or they were like, and he's just like a fucking loser that lost his job at the movie effects.
Yeah, he's just special. He's just a guy.
So how are you going to do that
in a crazy
now?
costume? Like,
what is it, and what's it going to be? I hope it's not just like Stark Tech. Like, I found some Stark Tech. Look what I can do. Because that would be lazy. Because we've had enough of, I have Stark Tech. Look what I did with it.
Or for him to have actual magic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want Mysterio to have actual magic.
True. Unless, the only way I could see that is if he found like a book or something and was like reading it, but he's still like a dude that doesn't know how to wield it.
Right.
Like, not a Doctor Strange level magician, but like a fucking dude dabbling. I could be okay with that. But more than anything, I want him to be
a shitty magician.
A loser. Yeah. like but to then figure out that he can use it to...
Right, there are things he can do with it.
But he's a torture villain. Like, that's his goal, is he's not the guy that beats the shit out of you. He's the guy that fucks with you.
He's a scarecrow character. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I guess we came to that that conclusion at the same time, so that fits.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a good...
He plays a good creep.
He does. He's Gyllenhaal is great in Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yes, and there's been a lot of... I've seen a few memes, some what the kids call memes, on the internet of the past couple of days where people are just saying, "Oh yeah, Gyllenhaal's been prepping for this role forever," and it's just him and Bubble Boy, giant balls. Because Mysterio's head's a bubble.
Oh, and they better keep the fucking bubble. They better keep that
and they have to.
Fishbowl. You know?
Yeah, they have to. Well, they'll do something to it.
But yeah, they don't have
They'll
to.
do something because they managed to make Vulture like cool.
Yeah.
In Homecoming. So, because Vulture's kind of a boring character.
I'm fascinated with the Vulture. And I'll explain to you why I'm fascinated by the Vulture. And this is, I think, a thing that nobody has ever addressed in the comics. But he's such an old, feeble man that should die every time Spider-Man punches him. He should fucking die. And he still goes out and goes for it.
Yeah.
So what's the motivation to somebody like that? And I think Mark Millar, when he and Terry Dodson did a Spider-Man run, really tied it down where it's just like, it was like his like girlfriend was sick. Like he's like an old guy and he had this like kind of old lady girlfriend and she was like super sick. And he's like, I have no way to make money. Like I tried going clean and it doesn't work. Like she's going to die. Well, and I have to do this.
Yeah. And then some of I think in the original run, he gets cancer, right? He gets sick.
Eventually, they did something like that. I don't think that was any time. It was always just an old guy.
Right. He's just a career criminal. It's like, hey, I got this wingsuit. I'm going to rob shit. But yeah, you're right. He's like a 60-year-old man. That's a conservative estimate.
Yeah, that's a very low number.
Because he looks like Father Time.
Yeah.
So
he's an old, like that to me is so fascinating that he should die. He should be fucking dead.
Every punch
time
should
Spider-Man
powder his skeleton.
Him.
Yeah.
And yet he still goes after that nut. Like that to me, the sickness.
I gotta rob the bank.
Yeah, the sickness of the devotion to me is fucking fascinating.
Right.
Like I love that. Like I draw the Vulture all the time. Like I sketch out the Vulture.
That
just
is a
because
thing I didn't know about you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've drawn a lot of the Vulture.
Draw that stupid 90s cartoon reboot of the Vulture where he's wearing like Gambit's helmet.
Oh, the
like
Amazing
dude.
Spider-Man 389.
Yeah. He got like he drained someone's youth.
He drains the synthetic Richard and Mary Parker's youth.
That's right.
So then he gets
God, that was a weird time for Spider-Man comics.
It's beautifully drawn.
Yeah, because it's all like Mark Bagley.
Mark Bagley, yeah.
It's great.
It's so good.
The Clone Saga is gibberish, but
jeez, that whole thing.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that's when I stopped reading Spider-Man for a long time.
I stopped. I subscribed through the mail to Amazing Spider-Man, and I stopped around around 390 something.
I got Web, and my brother got Amazing, so we would just
switch off. Yeah.
So we would switch off and just read when the storylines would overlap for like that or for like Maximum Carnage or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good move. I was always bored by Web.
I liked Web. I liked it more than the other two.
I liked
Spectacular.
I liked Spectacular actually.
Yeah, I hated the artist for most of the 90s, or at least the early 90s.
It's Steve Buscema.
Yeah, we had this conversation on another.
Did we?
Yeah. I really didn't like the art.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, so Mysterio. Oh yeah, and I like the idea of these normal dudes like Mysterio or like the Vulture, who like when Spider-Man shows up and like, it's the web slinger. That's like genuine terror.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Right.
A super-powered child. He's not big.
Who moves like a spider.
Yeah.
And like punches hard as shit.
And you're just a dude.
I'm just a dude in a wingsuit with a briefcase full of cash, man.
That's actually fascinating about these villains in these superhero stories, is that the superheroes are always powered up. And oftentimes the villains aren't. Lex Luthor is, I guess, the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, these are the guys that like you shouldn't be looking up to, but like, holy shit.
It's a trope. Disney movies and fairy tales do it too.
Yeah, where it's like
the bad guys are always working class.
Yeah, and it's just like that's not how that works.
The heroes are royalty who have everything.
Yeah, and it's like no, like that's I think Michael Keaton's Vulture was the perfect example of he got fucked by Tony Stark, and Tony Stark didn't care because he's not a guy that ever gave a shit about collateral damage.
No.
Like that, and that's all part of it, and that's I think they were going to explore that when they were considering Damage Control as a series, and then DC put out that really shitty one, which was unfortunate. I don't know if you remember that one with like Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Playing like Bruce Wayne's cousin or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
It could have been good, but it was, and I think it was like Ron Funches. Like, it had an amazing cast.
It was an idea that originally wasn't tied to the DC universe.
No, well,
and then they did that at the last minute.
Damage Control has existed in the Marvel universe for decades, and it's just the people that clean up after these big events. And so like that was essentially what Michael Keaton's company was doing, and then they got fucked over, and he's like he was right.
He was right
in the beginning. Like
he's like, I bought all these trucks and hired a crew. Like I invested a lot of money into this because we have a contract.
And stuck like, sorry, bye.
Like that's like illegal. Like very simple problem to fix. Just buy the dude's contract out. You're Tony Stark. You got the money.
Yeah.
Like,
you can do that, man. Don't just be like, too bad, so sad. Fuck off.
Right? Like,
so like, this might be another one of those, and I think this is what the Batman series was supposed to do, which is you need to show that the irresponsibility of the heroes is what's creating these villains. And I think that's a lot of what Batman. When they say, like, we didn't show up until you showed up. Yeah. Like, water rises to its level kind of a thing. And I think this is going to be another example of that.
And Spider-Man's a better character to do that because he's not a rich billionaire.
He's a kid.
He's a fucking poor-ass kid. So, and even, like, when he grows up, which he does, it's one gripe that I have with all the movies is that they're obsessed with keeping Peter as a teenager. And it's like, no, he becomes a man. Like, it happens.
No, but see, the thing is the changing of that perspective.
I get it.
Skews that role. Like, you can have
I want to get to Peter Parker in the 1980s, where he's going to nightclubs with Mary Jane and dancing with Paul Schaefer and Eddie Murphy.
That's because you're a man. You're not.
I know.
That's the one thing that we have to break through, and I think Thundercats was a good example of that.
Oh, the Thundercats reboot.
The division of fans. With the Thundercats reboot, where people are like, this looks like shit. And I'm like, fuck you. It's not for you.
No, it's a cartoon for children, bro.
They designed it in this modern, this stupid new way. And it's like, that's what's popular, fuckface. Like, you're not a kid anymore. Side note, the original Thundercats is dog shit. It is a bad show. I have tried rewatching it so many times.
I haven't tried. I haven't seen Thundercats in over 30 years.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Sure, the voice acting is great. The animation's fine because it looked like every other cartoon of the time.
Yeah.
Side note. All it was a stupid commercial for toys.
Yes.
And the plots were not great. And this is the same. It's the same thing with Masters of the Universe, with He-Man. And the new She-Ra that's coming out. Like, if you watch them, they all it's like these dead-eyed, terrible plots with just like, this villain that you can buy next month coming out soon.
Yeah.
Like that to me. And so, like, with Spider-Man becoming an adult, we have plenty of adults. Like, we still need that kid.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's also the kid who's out of his league. Where, like, other things you're like, Runaways or Teen Titans. And it's like, those are kids with kids. Spider-Man is a fascinating superhero in that he's the kid around adults that keeps it to himself because he's a kid. He's like a Captain Marvel-ish kind of a thing, or Shazam, I guess we would say, where he's like, I don't want anybody to know I'm a kid, but I'm a kid. And a lot of the heroes are just like, you're a fucking kid. Like, we know you're a kid. We can tell. Like Cap, like when Cap and he tussled in Civil War, and he was just like, I know you're a kid. Yeah. You're from Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. Like,
wait, what my favorite part about that scene is Cap. It's like very pithy. He's like, Brooklyn, and then he leaves to let this kid shoulder this jetway.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just met this kid. He clearly has superpowers. He's not 100% sure that that kid can lift that thing.
That's true.
You hold on to that, you child.
I think Marvel has handled Spider-Man already. Like, Marvel, this makes him better than anybody has ever done.
Yeah, it's the best version of him, absolutely. So I'm excited to see what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed that movie.
And I also like the idea that Jake Gyllenhaal, because of the history of like him kind of like being so close to it, can also mirror the like, I'm the 35-year-old version of you now.
Right,
like,
yeah, the bitterness of it.
This is what you could have ended up as if you didn't get fucking lucky as hell.
Yeah.
you want to talk about Matt Groening now?
Sure. He's got a new animated show called Disenchantment that's coming to Netflix.
I am all for it.
I love the idea of a Matt Groening fantasy cartoon. Another Matt Groening show.
Took long enough.
It's a fantasy thing. I don't like the character designs.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? It's just,
I don't know.
It's just
feels,
his designs. It's
I know.
just his style.
It feels like...
I mean, it looks like it's just another... It's a cousin to Futurama, and it's a cousin to The Simpsons, but that's because that's who he is. Like, that's Groening. And that's...
Yeah.
That's the animation that works, by the way, because those... In spite of Futurama's roller coastery existence, it's wild.
Yeah.
It is wildly successful, especially in DVD sales. It's sort of like how Family Guy came back alive,
right?
But I am all for this. I think those jokes in that setting, as long as they're not too... Did you ever see The Simpsons where they did like a Game of Thronesy kind of episode?
No.
It's not great because it's too like reverential of like, now we're referencing this thing. If they make their own world, it's going to be really good. I think Futurama...
I think that's why Futurama was as good as it was. Is because it was able to go and do its own thing with not super high expectations. I mean, there were expectations, obviously, because it's the first...
I mean, it was a big deal.
I remember when it came
2000,
out.
2000, right?
It was 99, I think.
Well,
it
premiered
right...
Didn't it premiere at that time? It might have been like a turn of the millennium Y2K premiere.
I feel like it was like right at the end of 99. Okay. I could be wrong. But it was 99 or 2000. So it was the first spin-off that he'd ever done, and not even really a spin-off. It's just, like you said, it's a cousin. So yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So like, I'm really expecting...
Like fresh writing staff, a fresh setting, fresh characters.
Is it a fresh writing staff too?
I don't know. I'm just... like talking...
Like, it's way earlier than I thought, by the way.
Futurama.
March 28th, 99.
Okay.
So way earlier than I expected. I think with this, I'm excited.
Yeah, I would watch it.
I'd kill to see like Dana Gould, because Dana Gould is such a dork. That imagine if they got like Dana Gould to work on this show. Dana Gould was like the...
No, I know.
Okay, yeah. So like, I imagine if they got him to work on this show.
The voice of Gex in the Gex games. Yeah, no, that would be great. A lot of any of like the, like the great Simpsons writers.
Get Conan O'Brien to do it.
Sure, yeah, get Conan. Apparently he still owes like 1 or 2 scripts because he got his hosting job in the middle of...
Really?
Being a writer for The Simpsons. He's joked about that before. I don't know how serious that is, but...
I mean, he should want, like, some summer or something like that. Just
bang out a script for however much he can ask for, which is probably a lot.
I mean, it would be one of the... I mean, that would be advertised as a script by Conan O'Brien,
of course, yeah.
But he probably... I don't know. If I was him, I'd feel like I lost touch with the writing aspect of it, because he's been writing late-night jokes instead of scripts for so long.
Yeah, and his scripts are so good.
They were fantastic.
Fuck, I would like to write for this show. If Matt Groening, if you're listening, I would like to write for your show. We met Matt Groening before.
Yeah?
Yeah. A couple of us, me and Dave, and...
Did you go to a table read, or...?
No, we didn't go to a table read. We just went into... because one of our coworkers was friends with a writer whose name escapes me now, but he was a guy who worked on both The Simpsons and Futurama. Dan Weber, maybe, I think is his name. But we got to do like a Fox tour, and he took us around and showed us like all the stuff. Like, oh, here's the old writer's office that is what they based Miss Krabappel's apartment complex on. And then
cool.
Walked us over to the bungalows. Like, and here's where they write now. And it's like, they were in the middle of a writer's meeting, and Matt Groening is right there. And I had to like step aside. I had to make room in the hallway for James L. Brooks.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I was like, oh, television legend James L. Brooks.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm sure he remembers me.
I guess at table reads, if you go to a table read, you get scripts and something. Like, I've seen a ton of people I know that they have their script with like a sketch.
Oh, cool.
By Groening of like Bart or Lisa or whatever on
word.
that, which is insane to me.
Yeah, I didn't know they did table reads that you could just go to.
I mean, I think you have to get an invite.
Right.
You have to know someone that knows somebody.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm not at that level. We got a couple more stories.
Yeah, Jordan Peele making Nazi Hunter show.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cool, actually. It takes place in the 70s, so it's like quasi based on reality where they were, like hunting for the, hiding Nazis all over the world.
It's Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Him.
Yeah, sure. I'm super stoked for all of the projects he has coming out. The Twilight Zone, the Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, Jordan Peele's good at stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
he's good at things.
He's good at things and stuff.
Things. Oh man, I was just thinking the other day of the Key and Peele Family Matters sketch. Have you seen that one?
Oh, maybe. I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh man.
I got to see them film a sketch before.
Oh, really?
A girl I was dating at the time did makeup for them.
Oh, cool.
And it was the Shakespearean era Liam Neeson's guys. It was that one where they were outside in whatever medieval garb, but be in those, and it was like really, really funny just to sit there and like watch them do it. So Rob McElhenney, is doing this animated horror comedy
for Rooster Teeth, which is
I'm down with that.
Branching out into other things.
I think they've proven that their writing is so good.
Yeah, Marina is still sticking with Red versus Blue, and they're still putting them out. They've like slowed down on it a little bit, but
who did Red versus Blue?
Rooster Teeth.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is it?
It was their first thing.
I meant Mac. Is that him? That's his company, right? I'm a little confused.
No. I think the main guy at Rooster Teeth is Bernie Burns.
Okay, because I watched some Red versus Blue, and I'm not that interested. I meant Mac, Rob McElhenney and stuff.
Yeah, no, he's not. That's Rooster Teeth isn't his thing.
Always Sunny is such a well-written.
It's always great.
Well-written, fantastic. And they all, from what I understand, up until like the 7th or 8th season, they were all writing every episode on their own.
Yeah, I don't think they can manage that anymore.
No. Well, they opened up to fan writing, and it was like the one where Dee becomes a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. That's the season that they did fan stuff.
Yeah, and I know they had brought on the guys from Britannic as writers.
I know that one where she becomes a comic, where she becomes a stand-up comic, and they fly. That was filmed at the comedy club where Robin Williams haunted me last night.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Not in Philadelphia.
No. I was like, I know that stage.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'll watch whatever they put out, any of that team.
Right?
Yeah, because it's all good. Always Sunny is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're all really, really,
and they're all
fantastic.
They're all great at what they do. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll probably be fine.
And then last on the list,
there's apparently, I guess, this also because we don't technically have a movie that should deserve more hype this week, but this is a movie that
That's Dave's thing.
Yeah, that's Dave's thing, and he's not here. But this is
Rover Dangerfield.
Right, Rover Dangerfield totally deserves more hype. This movie sort of qualifies just because I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about it. And it's an Elton John biopic they're making that comes out next year called Rocket Man, it stars Taron Egerton from Kingsman.
Yeah, he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, because they must have met, at the very least, they worked together on Kingsman 2.
Is Elton in Kingsman 2?
Elton John's like a major plot point of Kingsman 2, actually. It's fine. It's a good ramping up of the original. It's insane.
I haven't seen the original.
Actually. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
I like Matthew Vaughn.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah. I liked the first Kick-Ass. And it's directed by the Dexter Fletcher, who's the guy that played Soap in Lock, Stock.
Oh, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
What a film. He also played Pinky in the Doom movie. So yeah, this movie exists and is coming out next year, and I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, they're really knocking out those biopics, huh?
I know.
I think they want to get people before they die.
That's weird to me. It feels like
watching your eulogy.
Right. It feels like you wait to make those until after the person passes, unless it's I don't know. I guess it depends. But definitely Elton John's been, around for 50, 60 years as a famous person. So it's not the same thing. But like what we were talking about earlier with like the immediacy of movies like Sully and like Patriots Day, where it's just like, this is too soon. Like, I'm not saying an Elton John biopic is too soon. It's not. But
yeah, like it's strange to me.
We need some time to you have to have, if you're going to make a film about something, you have to have time to reflect on that thing wound up.
Although, didn't Walk the Line, that was before he died.
Yeah, he was still alive.
Good.
Yeah. I think
Right?
I think both him and June Carter Cash were still alive when that movie came out.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too, a shift from the notes before, because you had Transformers 7, and they pulled the plug on that.
I know they moved it.
They
took it off the schedule.
Paramount
anyway.
officially pulls the next Transformers sequel from their release date schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should stop
making those movies.
Yeah.
Stop making those incredibly profitable in China movies.
Yeah. That's the only reason they exist. It's like the only reason they made another Pirates movie and may yet make another, because they do crazy well overseas.
Well, I mean, that's, the international markets, they shifted the way money is made, because it used to be like studios didn't profit off of international movies. Really. It was awareness more than anything.
Yeah.
But like in China, the Chinese like distributors or whatever, they're the ones that made all the money. So it was like, that's why nobody used to give a shit about international. And
you didn't have big tent poles like this as often. Like, I mean, Lethal Weapon 2 didn't get a release in China. Like, certain things don't, like, comedies don't travel well. Generally speaking, I mean, this is not a universal
why would
truth.
they, right?
Because it's like there's so like the language barrier and then the cultural barrier.
Yeah.
It's like,
and what is funny,
yeah. But like a big movie about robots punching each other to death, you don't.
That's the universal language.
Yeah, it's universal language. There's no cultural nuances you need to understand to watch that.
Now, how about Elton John fighting robots?
That is a film I think we all need.
I think it would be that there. I think it would be cool to have something like that, like an absurdist, but like takes like a serious but absurd movie, like something like that. Like, I think Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Yeah, we
was
definitely
a very good example of something that can make fun of itself while being serious and hilarious at the same time.
It can be the thing that it's parodying.
Yeah. I'm mad that it didn't get picked up for a second season, because the first season is so good. It's so good.
At least we still have The Tick.
We do.
As far as Amazon series.
We do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, I think it's a different beast, but like sort of like the first Scream. Sort of.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Where it was still the thing it was supposed to. It was still a horror movie, but it was like
a parody of that.
It was like,
or
hey,
Deadpool.
And Deadpool, yeah.
The Deadpool movies are a great example of that. How do you make a parody superhero movie that isn't stupid? And it's like, there you go. Like,
don't
got
do Pluto Nash.
Now, maybe you went a little too hard in the paint on some of your jokes and they fell flat. But in the grand scheme of things, that's when you reach success.
Right.
That's why when you see movies like superhero movie, they tank.
Ugh.
I mean, granted, those movies are designed for teenagers to watch. So
they're designed for rentals and stuff. Yeah. But yeah.
You ever try to suffer through any of those, like superhero movie or epic movie or date movie?
Oh.
Or Meet the Spartans or anything
like
that?
Marina and I started watching one of them. I forget which one, but it was like, it might have been Meet the Spartans, but it was like, it was just so bad.
References.
Yeah.
No jokes, just references.
Yeah. It's just like the somebody doing an impression of the Leave Britney Alone guy, and then...
Yeah, it's so bad. I couldn't make it like 20 minutes in, and I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, because the first two scary movies are good.
Right, well, they're made by...
Wayans
they're Wayans brothers. Even the third one was okay, so it's made by the Zuckers.
Yeah, when the Wayans do... Yeah, the third one was decent. Was that the War of the Worlds one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad at all. Dude, there's actually a joke where he's splitting Duraflame logs, and it's the funniest thing. It's so funny to me that he's like out there with the axe and you just see him putting Duraflame logs up and splitting them. It is, to this date, one of the funniest sight gags I've ever seen in a movie.
There's a Zucker joke that they actually do twice, because I think it's in Basketball, and then I think it's also in The Naked Gun, where they pan over to the bad guy. He says, "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation," as he's putting behind him like this huge listening device. It's dumb, but it makes me laugh every time.
I still, to this day, think that Airplane is the funniest movie ever made.
It's very funny.
I can't... Anyway, I always remember I've had this interaction with somebody where I was talking about how I think too many people give time. They use like aging, like they make a vintage movie is funny. Like when people say that Blues Brothers is hilarious, I'm like, it's not that funny.
It's not.
Like,
there's some good lines in it, but Blues Brothers is boring.
Yeah, it's not amazing the way people say it is. And I was like, I think you guys are having like the idea that like something that's 30 years ago just has to be the funniest thing because it's lasted so long. Caddyshack, for example. Caddyshack's fine. It is
pretty funny.
It's not the most hilarious movie. And so like, and they got like, what do you think the funniest movie is? And I was like, Airplane. And I'm like, that's from like 1980.
Yeah. But
Airplane, I still think I've watched it over and over and
recently?
over again. And the jokes land so hard. God, that's a good movie. I had a thing and then I lost the thing, but I was going to make,
we were talking about, I don't know, superhero movies and
yeah,
some junk. I don't know. So this Elton John film is coming out, but not for a while.
I have reached an age where I appreciate Elton John music more.
Yeah, he's great. It's kind of the reverse of what I was talking about with the immediacy of films like fucking Patriots Day, and then even after saying it feels a little weird to have a biopic come out while the subject's still alive. That aside, it's kind of weird that this is the first Elton John biopic that I can remember.
I'm sure Lifetime threw together some something with Dean Cain or something where
playing Sir Elton.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Ray Charles was still alive when Ray came out, right?
Probably. I mean, there's been a lot of these swan song movies, and I do think it's a lot of like Hollywood wanting to eulogize these people, but so they can see it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like that's... You expecting a Scott Eastwood Clint movie?
Yes.
Sometime soon?
Oh, yeah. Like,
why wouldn't you do that? Scott Eastwood looks like if Chris Hemsworth and old Clint Eastwood had a kid.
He looks very much like Clint Eastwood.
It must be a bummer because he's so wooden as an actor.
Yeah.
That Clint Eastwood,
he's got some range.
He had range, yeah. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, he's always playing the same guy in different movies. Maybe in... no, that's not true, though, because in Any Which Way But Loose, he was very... What a fun movie that is, by the way.
Oh, man. It's the best poster I can think of. Everybody Google that poster.
Oh, my God, that's so good.
Him flexing menacingly at you with an orangutan on his shoulder.
That's a fun movie. I didn't see that movie until I was an adult.
I think it was his highest grossing movie for many, many years.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it was like it was right after he did like The Deadpool or something like that, or Dirty Harry. And everyone was like, don't make this movie. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, I just want to have fun.
I just want to play with a monkey.
Like, I want to act with an orangutan.
Yeah.
Like,
I want my BJ and the Bear.
It works. That movie works. That might be one of the best and an animal movies that I can think of.
Oh, I don't know. There's a very high bar set by Dunstan Checks In.
Oh, I love Dunstan Checks In.
And Operation Dumbo Drop.
Well, you got your Turner and Hooch. You got your Canine. I mean, I wouldn't count Beethoven because the main character is the animal in that case.
Yeah.
But no, there were I think that one, Monkey Trouble.
Monkey Trouble.
I think Any Which Way But Loose is a fun movie.
Sure. Well, that's we're all out of show.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Get the H out of here.
I know, right? So Jeff, thanks for coming out, man.
You know what? It's always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome mid-afternoon traffic.
I know. Hopefully, we avoid all the really rough stuff.
What do you want to plug?
Mint on Card is the second Friday of every month. If you're in Los Angeles, come to beautiful Blast from the Past on Magnolia in Burbank. Our next show is June 8th. We have a really, really great lineup. The show's free. We get a food truck. Everything about it is great. So you should come to that.
It's very fun. I need to try to come out again. we do a special Patreon stream on Fridays, which makes it
you're
kind of tough.
You're not coming out. That's fine.
No, I need to. I had fun doing it.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so unique. It's in a comic book and toy store with the lights on.
With all of the
comics
lights on.
are right there. My favorite is a really brilliant comic named Danny Palumbo. He had sent me a message about the show after doing it, and he's just like, every ingredient of your show dictates that it shouldn't work.
It should be a nightmare.
And it's the most fun show I've done.
Yeah,
and
it's real.
It's like interesting in that regard that it shouldn't work. He's right. It shouldn't work.
Right.
All the aspects and ingredients of it steer away to it's like this shouldn't work. The lights are on.
The lights are
You're
on.
at the same level as
they're 3 feet away in folding chairs.
and it's just eating barbecue from a Texas barbecue food truck or something.
Yeah,
and it works.
Yeah, no, it's everybody is it's a great crowd. They're all happy to be there, and they're all excited to be there, and it's just it's real low. It was surprisingly low stress when I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like a party vibe. And the other thing I want to promote, look for stuff in the future in social media. Wherever you are, find good local comedians and support them. I think no matter where you are, there are going to be good comics. Like, find them and go check them out, because live comedy needs people in the seats, and it's definitely worth it. You spend $15 or something like that, and you have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of free shows too, like Jeff's.
Yeah.
You know?
Although I never expect it when I travel. Like, free shows in LA is very common, but
That's true,
elsewhere it's at the Elks Lodge or something. But don't research comics out there. Don't go to the shitty comics that are like, I'm gonna do rape jokes. Like, I'm a white guy. Why can't I say the N-word?
That's a whole other conversation. All right. Well, thanks, Jeff.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
All right. Say goodbye.
I mean, I kind of felt like I did, but
yeah.
I mean, goodbye.
I mean, say goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info. Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.